Fast forward, any come out channel so AGH Politics Avenue. Podcast or said trend make headlines. And Unia Ejemre na EDB Exomo Ewa say Nidim Yahumrak Simus and ED Kenya. And also subscribe to the channel by the Amami. Mr. Wa say Yanko a political highway. Dadem any Assam Kotra. Na Ningina and say a year Solomon Owusu our year communication officer Emma a year UP Amayokonu about one thing so and o make expose bia ya jumra EDB exum wo na insema okanyina ne se koko syndicated loans no abanda da no ekwagie ye no onia enya asem koto akra mo EDB wasa wo musirima onia papa no ajumra oye expose na at this point in time so say yemon wansi minim abra Solomon Owusu ajumre na or probe into the matter. AGH Politics Avenue. Young in Simini.
And I'm saying he's not
an expert. Okay.
He's
worked there before.
It doesn't matter. He's not. He was a public affairs director. When he's giving information, he comes to tell us. He's not an expert. He's not an expert in research. He's not an expert in anything.
Let's not
what I'm saying is that, you understand, if you begin, Cocoa Board, if you read the law, PNDC law 81, that establishes Cocoa Board, as a key objective is to, first of all, produce the cocoa and process it. Because if that was not the objective, then why did we even establish the Cocoa Board in the first place? We were being short-changed by Cargill and the USC in the 30s. For which reason, by 1947, we decided to form Cocoa Board to deal with that matter, so that we can process it to disable these foreigners from taking advantage of this. If you go to a country like Brazil, is Brazil not a leading cocoa producer? They are among the top 7. Guess what? Brazil processes 93% of its beans to do other things. So what makes anybody think that it's a difficult thing? In any case, if you are starting the processing or value addition from 50, it means, and adding on every year at least 8%, by the time they are done, they would have got it to about 66% of processing, which is a good thing. Because what is happening is that on the international market, it's not as though all of a sudden prices drop. It is engineered. Those that are buying our cocoa, they have serious researchers. At any given time, they know the levels of production that will be coming out of Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire. It's demand and supply situation. If I know that, look, these people are producing, all that I need to do is to stop buying. Then demand would exceed, supply would exceed demand, and therefore you reduce prices. So the value addition that has been proposed by this administration is a good thing. The second thing is the syndicated loans. It must never have crossed our minds in the first place that we buy cocoa with cedis, yet we go for $1 every year because of top. We go and take dollar loan to come and buy cedi-denominated product.
Well, first, we don't have the money, so that's why.
Which money? We started doing this syndication in the 90s. Before 90s, how were we buying our cocoa? How were we buying our cocoa? Lazy attitude, it puts that there. So before we even harvest our cocoa, we have sold about 70% of the cocoa. Whether or not the prices will go up or down, we have sold it. And if you do that, what quantity or percentage is going to be left for you to give to your local industries? That is what was hurting the market. Again, when we did regulation in the petroleum sector, you should have followed it with the cocoa sector. Because these are all international products. You can't give what you don't have. If the commodity is being sold on the international market at 3,000, why would you give 4,000? So that the solutions that I've heard from our brothers is that, look, they must go and borrow to restore prices. Is that how you manage?
Yes, because the minority, I believe it's...
And that is how come...
They said that...
Yes, go and borrow. To come and stabilize prices, that's how come you have that negative equity there.
Well, they said the objective, you protect farmers.
Protect who? The farmer needs roads. The farmer needs hospitals. The farmer needs schools. These monies that we would go and borrow to come and shore them up would lead to we deny them the very infrastructure that they are looking for. So you put in place a pricing mechanism, which is also one of the suggestions that they have proposed, which I believe that they must carry it through. It's a very good thing.
Okay.
You understand? Now, the pricing today. Today they are paying, what, 2,587. You see, sometimes we would not, and that is why the UP is there. UP wants to take away this politics of Jandam.
Well, what is Jandam
if it is
what
black
is Jandam about this narrative?
We will win election.
They said it was at a certain price. You reduce it to
In 2023, in 2023, this morning I checked the international world market price of cocoa. It is now around 3,700 dollars per ton. If you work the mathematics, you are supposed to give the farmer, if you are doing 70%, around 2,600 or so. You understand? Which is around the same figure that these people are giving. In 2023, cocoa bought at the same rate. How much were they paying? At the same price of $3,700, how much were they paying? They were paying 1,308 cedis per bag.
2000 what?
2023. So if yesterday you saw the need that at price of $3,700, you will be paying a bag of cocoa at 1,308, and today is the same price, and someone is paying 2,587, then you must rather be seeing something positive. But
are you saying this price is better than the old one?
Of course. Which one?
In terms of purchasing power and things like that?
No, I'm only comparing 2 years with a similar. In fact, during their time, 3,700, the cedi to the dollar was around 11.5. And it's hovering around the same. Today is around 11. So we are doing almost the same calculations. But what I'm saying is that under no circumstance must government go and borrow to come and pay for farmers when prices on the international market drops. It weakens the economy. It destroys the economy.
Really?
Absolutely.
Not protect farmers?
Farmer? You protect farmer?
For a key commodity like cocoa?
No, it's not a key commodity. How many, like they were saying, how many people take cocoa in this country? We are only serving the international market. We will eat banku fufu. Why are we not talking about
the revenue? So you protect the producers, of the commodity that give you that revenue.
In its entirety, cocoa does not give us on the annual basis more than $2 billion. Are you aware of that?
But it's an excess. You take also a look at the value chain, etc.
No, but we don't capitalize on the value chain. We only sell the raw beans. So we only make $2 billion from cocoa every year. If you combine the other food crops and stuff, we are doing way better. Okay. So what I'm saying is that the solutions that have been preferred, what we must make sure happens is that they actually do the implementation. Because what is going to happen is that with the announcement of these solutions, those that are buying our raw beans will begin to think twice, they will stabilize the market, and then we go and sleep. Once you go and sleep, then the matter comes back 2 years later. We must insist that the products will be processed this time around. We must insist that there will be a pricing formula this time around. We must insist that politicians will not be, we will not be sending politicians to our best institutions to just go and mess it up. We must insist that cocoa board, there is private participation in the running of cocoa board. This is the only way, as a country, we can make headway.
Point made. There's a substantive issue, and I saw a Reuters news feature that also gave an indication that the market in Cote d'Ivoire is not doing any better. And the farmers are even now, if you take a look at that story, now taking their cocoa bags and not selling even to the intermediaries and taking it back to their warehouses. So the subject matter about top producer, second top producer, and we need to take a look at that as well. How do we do that within this sort of conversation?
Yeah, so Roland, just before that, allow me just a minute or two to deal with a number of issues that my colleagues on the panel have raised. Fifi began by creating the impression that, in fact, there's something wrong with getting briefing on any subject matter. I mean, no. That's the impression you gave. You created said I wasn't briefed. I haven't worked in the office. Fifi, when you were speaking, so now you are saying that the information I have.
I take a greatest exception to the comments that just be made by my brother Fifi.
What did he say?
That NPP are free money. I mean, why? How can you say that?
Have you not left the MP? So let me finish.
No, but we discussing.
Okay,
I want to use my time. So Roland,
please, gentlemen.
Roland, indeed, there is nothing wrong in getting briefing on a matter that is critical to Ghana's economy. As a member of parliament, there is nothing wrong. Why? Yesterday we discussed cocoa in parliament. The Honorable Apenyo Markin, who read the first statement on happiness in cocoa. Is he a cocoa farmer? Has he worked at cocoa board? But he led the discussions. Because these are critical issues. And so there is nothing wrong in even getting briefing. But again, Fifi created the impression that I stated that the 1.1 billion that will be lost or the 10% is insignificant. I never said that. What I have succeeded in doing this morning on your show is to correct the impression that they were leading, and I've heard him on other sister stations. They created the impression as though the reduction in the price affects all the 650,000 tons. And that is wrong.
Projected for
They're projected. And I'm saying that, but I said, remember what I said, that Solo can bear me out. I said that they created an impression. They created the impression as though this price reduction affected all the 650,000 tons. Roland, but that is not correct. Like I said, it applies to only about 10% of the projected quantity that Cocoa Board wanted to buy. The second thing is that I've heard them make all sorts of arguments about the fact that they did not leave a mess or what have you. Roland, we have never said anywhere that the mess they left behind is the reason why there is a reduction in price. Like you've asked, there is a general issue of price. In fact, for the first time in so many years, we have had such a sharp fall in the global prices of cocoa, to the extent that all the producing countries, Ghana, the Côte d'Ivoire, and many others, are struggling with sales because of the challenge at the global market. However, it is also important for us to say, and I'll repeat this, that if we need lessons on how to manage Cocoa Board, it certainly cannot come from Fifi and his former boss and the NPP.
Why not?
They mismanaged Cocoa Board, led it recklessly, and ran the Cocoa Board down. Roland,
what correlation has it got to do with farmers not being paid?
Let me give you a picture of what the NDC inherited. I am saying that we sympathize with those farmers who are in possession of the 10% of the beans that will be bought at a cheaper price now or at a reduced price.
And who haven't been paid yet or who will be affected by this?
Those whose beans were bought but have not been paid at the old price will be paid with the old price. It is those whose beans are yet to be bought, which, like I'm saying, is less than even 10%. That the new price affects. And that is the point that I want to make. But like I'm saying, if there is anyone in this country that should give us lessons on how to relate with farmers, especially cocoa farmers, it certainly cannot be Fifi nor the NPP, because they failed. Let me give you a picture of what they left behind, Roland. They left behind a debt of 32.91 billion at Cocoa Board. That's the debt that they left behind. The highest in the about 80 years.
This was part of the initial commencement.
You see, it is not about whether it was part of the initial comment. When those who created the mess, those who recklessly managed Cocoa Board, created a problem at Cocoa Board today, that Cocoa Board is no more financially stable because of the mess that they left behind. Today, are pretending to be experts in cocoa, telling us how to manage Cocoa Board. We need to remind them of their history. In the nearly 80 years of Cocoa Board, the highest debt that was left was under the NPP when Fifi and Co were in the office of the Cocoa Board Chief Executive Officer. That is 2.9 billion. Cocoa Roads, do you know that they left a debt of 26 billion Ghana cedis? And when they signed, when you look at some of the contracts that they signed in relation to the Cocoa Roads, to the extent that they even signed contracts that when these contractors raise certificates and in 90 days, Cocoa Board is unable to pay, they will now pay with interest. Go and check all the other road contracts given in other sectors and tell me where else that we've made any reckless decision as this. And so, to a large extent, I agree with Solo that some of them, Fifi and Co, the former CEO, his son, and others who are speaking, who are moving from one station to other, it is because the clock of accountability has not yet caught up with them. We believe that when we subject the administration to any forensic audit and let the people of Ghana know the mess that they left behind. No, I know that investigations are ongoing. I know investigations are ongoing. I know investigations are ongoing. I also know that it is better to do a meticulous job and get your watertight evidence than to be in a rush. I know investigations are ongoing. So they've mismanaged Cocoa Board. Again, they have created the impression that Dr. Randy Abe is not capable of managing Cocoa Board. What is Randy's crime? In fact, the kind of mess that they left behind at Cocoa Board, that Randy is cleaning up, the work he has done in less than a year, none of their chief executives have been able to do that. And I'll show you a few things. Roland, they've raised some points, some not on this platform though, about this 20% pay cut. In fact, he has even raised it and telling us that the 20% cut when farmers are losing revenue
is insignificant.
No, for me, that decision by the top management.
The farmers rely solely
the decision by top management.
On their earnings from
the decision by top management to cut down on their salary, to take a pay cut, shows that we have passionate, compassionate human beings in charge of Cocoa Board now. At the time that we had crisis, 2023-2024 season, what were they doing? Go and look at expenditure on their board and expenditure on their management. As we speak today, when you go to Cocoa Board, in Cocoa Board pools of vehicles, you will see the cars, the vehicles that Dr. Opuni used, he left behind. But when his boss took over, they decided to buy brand new cars. And they took, look, the mess that they created, the likes of Fifi do not have the moral authority to come and talk to us about management of Cocoa Board.
We shouldn't be going personal on the subject.
I'm not going personal. I'm saying that it's my friend.
About when the
and I'm saying that he is attacking a pay cut. And I'm saying that somebody in charge says that there is a challenge. Somebody in charge believes that there is a challenge. Let me sympathize with the farmers. Let me take a pay cut of 20%. If you will not applaud them, you shut up. Because at the time you were in charge, and there was a challenge, there were crises. Well, the setup is not. If you find that offensive, I withdraw. But I'm saying that if you find that offensive, I withdraw. Don't worry, we will get to the issues. I'm saying that. I'm saying that in conclusion, Roland, if you cannot thank I commend Dr. Randy Abe for agreeing to take a pay cut of 20% because there are crises which has nothing to do with his leadership, but with the mess you created, and you never took any pay cut. You left with all your cars, you left with all the machines, and all of that. If you cannot commend him, you will keep quiet because you will sound ridiculous in your attempts to criticize him for taking a pay cut. When you were in charge, you decided to raise your salaries, you took no pay cuts, you spent more, and you were not sensitive to the farmers. Roland, the cocoa farmer today knows that the NDC better serves their interests. What happened under them? Even spraying of the farms, fertilizers, they decided to cut all those other incentives to the farmers under their rule.
That's a lie.
Today, we have brought those things back.
Everything we have said here, everything we have said is a lie. Roland, and one of us will tell us everything you say is a lie.
He says a lie.
No, it cannot be.
Your producers will find. No, but your producers will find out that there are videos when under the NPP, under NPP, even fertilizers sent to the farmers where they wrote not for sale, they cancelled the not and had for sale. Why? On many occasions, we've discussed cocoa on this platform. Yes. 2023, 2024, there were crises. They couldn't pay the farmers. Who even introduced that buyer financed model? Is it not them? Because when they took the loan and they could not supply to meet the quantity, the syndicated loan couldn't come. It was under them. So if today they have become preachers of whichever financial model, we will not take it from them. We sympathize with the farmers, and we are assuring them that as the price will adjust in the international, in the global market, we will continue to raise it. But let me also make the point finally, Roland, that today, even with the reduction in the price, the cocoa farmers have better real income than under the NPP. I've heard people use or make arguments with cement, for example. Today, if you are a cocoa farmer, you are able to buy 32 bags of cement with just one bag of this. Under them, they were buying only 25, 26.
If you can do that in 5 minutes, I'll be happy.
Well, he said a lot. According to the NDC MP, it is better to take 2,500 than 3,100. Well noted. I have also noted.
That's not how I said it.
I've also noted the seeming attacks to create the impression that, well, if you do not act as though you know everything about cocoa, you are cocoa expert or not. I've spent 8 years of my life working at Cocoa Board. I did not go to Cocoa Board to sleep. I took time to learn and understand the industry. So I do not speak out of guess, out of experience, built over 8 years, and I know what I'm talking about. I don't want to get in personal conversation as Edem tried to do, but at least I can say that Joseph Boahinedu, as chief executive, used the car, the Land Cruiser Dr. Puni bought, used that car for the entire 8 years he was chief executive of Cocoa Board. Today, we are being told of 4 brand new Land Cruisers that have been bought, over 100 pickups that have been bought, which are
for operations. Let it for operations.
Well, of course, Boahinedu was taking it to his girlfriend.
For operations. For operations.
Please allow me to make my point. I listen to you.
The last time they
bought. So cars have been bought. Cars have been bought.
As for Boahinedu, he was taking it to church.
Operation. Randy still drives his personal car.
Okay, so
those cars
he says
were
those
bought
cars
for
are for
operations.
You said they bought new cars.
For staff, go around the country.
Adam, please allow him when you were talking.
Don't create the impression that Randy bought 100 pickups and he's driving
Adam, when you were talking.
Yes, but he was also interjecting.
Let me also draw attention to something my friend Solo said. And interestingly, he said that just after saying that Fifi cannot claim to understand the cocoa industry. And what did Solo say? He said, well, he went to 2023 and realized the price was 9,000.
I never said 9,000.
Okay, what figure did you use?
I used $3,700 as per ton.
Today. That's what you used that figure for today.
No.
And then use a figure for 2023.
I am here, so ask me.
I'm giving you the opportunity. Go
I know
ahead.
he's a lawyer, so he'll respect your rights.
It has nothing to do with law.
If we are doing comparative analysis,
yes.
Today the international world market price of cocoa is 3,700 per ton, as I checked.
Yes.
Now, this.
We and some more team course or channel so mommy and what so Jim O'Hara. Send us over, you know, they are doing be Adomania. Only I'm ever saying Asia.